Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Yes Airmaster XTRM binding. That's right, Yes is now making bindings, but Yes used to be Now bindings and now is Yes bindings. Did you get all that? Cool. Anyways, the Airmaster XTRM basically replaces the Drive CX, their ultra stiff binding. I rode this binding at Arapahoe Basin on an overcast day that was a mix of blue and gray skies. You had chopped chunder, death cookies, firm fast groomers, soft creamy groomers, kind of just a mix of everything. And I rode it on my Ride Shadow Band snowboard with my K2 Thraxis boots. There is not a lot of adjustments on this binding. You have a forward lean block that is on an Allen key, but you can also twist it if you need to. So twist it down, boom, there you go, you got some forward lean. Hey, you want to back up? Hey, no forward lean, or you can actually remove the screw and then flip the gusset in there just to give you a little bit more variability. And on the straps you have twist cams, so you got to flip them up, unscrew them, take it out, slide the strap in or out depending on where you need to center it on your boot. Finally, you have the bushings. You can pop these out and go soft, medium, hard if you want. I recommend you just leave what's on there. That's it for adjustments. Not a lot. The heel strap is a foam strap and it is a little more rigid around the outside. It does not have the biggest cutout, so when it goes over the instep, you're gonna notice that you get a lot of power out of it when you drive into it, but not a lot of flex. There isn't a ton of lateral give in that heel strap either. Most of that comes actually from the hinge on it. With the toe strap, honestly, they could put a better toe strap on this, but with the way the cutout is and the rubber, it's gonna fit better over a more pointy-toed boot than anything. If you've got like a big blocky blunted boot, it's just not gonna feel as good. It's gonna kind of stretch and you're probably gonna feel the ratchet pushing in on it. That's just one of the things that I noticed with it. It is a responsive toe strap, which is nice, and it did fit my Thraxis okay, so I could drive into it, but overall, I think there are better toe straps. Personally, I think there are better ratchets out there. Yeah, they climb okay. The one finger release on the heel, the tab could be a little bit longer, but it works. You do not have that on the toe though, so it means you gotta grab it from the front to flick it open. I like uniformity on my ratchets. I like them to all be the same, so if they don't, it always sticks out to me that way. There is a little bit of play in these, you notice that as well. But they climbed okay, they stayed locked down, which is about all you can ask from a ratchet, which was nice. I do think though that there are better ratchets out there. If you liked this video yet, go down there and do that. You know you want to. While you're at it, why don't you subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications, that way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for you. There is a good curvature to this Highback, so it really cradles around the back spine of the boot, and there's a little bit of padding in there, but what you will notice is that by and large, this is a really stiff Highback. You feel that response and power when you drive into it. You notice right away that when you're going up on that heel edge, you're pushing into it, it's driving that power down into the chassis to that skate tech to just help you stay on edge. Like I said, very responsive. The forward lean block is unique. I mean, you pretty much get two settings right out the gate unless you remove that screw and then flip-flop some stuff around on there to dial it in, but at least you can adjust it on the fly. As this is the stiffest binding from Yes, you're gonna notice there's a ton of power in this. When you go up on the toe, you feel that skate tech working, and then when you transition back to the heel, it also drives that power and it pushes into that Highback down into the heel cup. You get a lot of power. The straps are very responsive. The only spot that it kind of lacks with any flex is the lateral give. You get a little bit from the hinge straps on the toe and the heel, but not a lot. This also translates to more power. So if you're really throwing your weight forward on the board, you're gonna get power. And then when you transition it back to the outside and the inside of the binding, so it's the inside of the front one, the outside of the rear one, once again, a lot more power. In case you haven't caught on, this is a very powerful and responsive binding. This is actually a fairly damp binding. That foot pad does a good job of dissipating all that kinetic energy. The only time you really notice anything is if you're on frozen death cookies, where it's like you're on ball bearings. That will kind of resonate up underfoot through the Skate Tech chassis. Otherwise, you know, your board's flapping, whatever. Yeah, you're not feeling it. This thing will just crush over anything in its path for the most part. Is it the dampest binding in this category? No, there are others out there, but for what it is, it's really good. Rider in mind, this binding is 100% for the hard charging free ride guy, someone that wants a lot of response out of their binding. Trying to figure out how to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. Personal thoughts. With the rebranding of now into Yes, this is what replaces the Drive CX. You can see that with the amount of carbon in it. It's a very responsive binding. It's got good power. One thing I don't like about now bindings is even if you rotate the disc and you try to slide it back or forward to center on the board, it still always kind of ends up being just a little bit heel heavy in my opinion. Other than that and the toe strap, they work. Sure, you could upgrade the ratchets, that's whatever, but I think with a different toe strap that would fit more boot shapes, this would be a more versatile binding. I liked the response out of it, and it was fairly damp for what it was. It's not the dampest, as I've already said, but for what it is, it was pretty good. Comparable bindings: the Union Atlas Pro, the Ride A10, the Bataleon Atom. This has been my review of the Yes Airmaster XTRM binding. If Skate Tech doesn't sound like you, why don't you go check out one of the reviews for one of the comparable bindings? Because we've made a ton of programming for all of you.